Good morning, students of Saraswati Vidya Mandir, Commerce section. Today in economics, we start a new chapter, chapter number 5 in macroeconomics, government budget and the economy. Students, after completion of successful chapter number 4, income determination, income and employment determination in an economy, and the next chapter which is based upon that chapter, that is problem of excess and deficient demand. Now we move on next chapter. This is the second last chapter of macroeconomics, the government budget and the economy, and very important chapter from the point of view of board examination, because several short questions came from this chapter. And chapter is easy because in this chapter there were no numerical and no graph, and you can easily understand this chapter and easily gain marks in board examination. So first of all, we have to understand the concept of budget. बजट क्या है? जैसा कि हम लोग जानते हैं कि इसकी शुरुआत जो है, बजट शब्द जो आया है वो बुजेट से आया है. बुजेट एक चमड़े के थैले को कहा जाता है जिसमें कि पहली बार बजट को पेश किया गया था और आय व्यय के ब्यौरे को और खर्च को फ्रांस में, और वहाँ से ही ये शब्द बजट आया. तो बजट कितने प्रकार के होते हैं? पहले तो हम ये बात करेंगे कि बजट हैज़ 2 टाइप्स. एक तो प्राइवेट बजट होते हैं. प्राइवेट बजट यानी निजी बजट, वो हम लोग के आप लोग के होते हैं. दूसरे होते हैं पब्लिक बजट. पब्लिक बजट जिसको हम लोग यूनियन बजट भी कहते हैं. सार्वजनिक बजट या सरकारी बजट जो भी कह लीजिए, इसको हम लोग यूनियन बजट भी कहते हैं. तो बजट तो है, बजट सिंपली बजट defined as a systematic financial record or a statement regarding expenditure and income of any institution, individual or government. If it is a statement of expenditure and income of an individual person, then it is called private budget. And if it is a statement of government expenditure and income, then it is called union budget or public budget. So that is the budget. Is simply in broad sense we can define budget as a systematic financial statement. Systematic financial statement जो है ये budget है. Systematic financial statement regarding government expenditure and income is known as union budget. Now बजट कोई भी है, हमारे घर में भी बजट बनता है, इंडिविजुअल बेसिस पे आय और खर्च होते हैं, दैट इज़ हम लोग का घरेलू बजट होता है. फिर किसी व्यक्ति का, किसी संस्थान के भी बजट होते हैं, छोटे लेवल पे, माइक्रो लेवल पे. विद्या मंदिर का भी अपना बजट है, आय और खर्च का अपना, वो हर साल बजट तैयार करते हैं. तो कोई भी छोटा या बड़ा इंस्टीट्यूशन या व्यक्ति जिस परिवार में रहता है, सबका एक बजट होता है. बजट जस्ट इनकम और एक्सपेंडिचर का एक लेखा जोखा है, एक स्टेटमेंट है. एंड इट इज़ वेरी इम्पॉर्टेंट, क्योंकि ओवरऑल जो हमारी क्रियाकलाप और एक्टिविटीज चलते हैं वो एक्टिविटीज़ के दशा और दिशा को निर्धारित करते हैं ये बजट. तो बजट इज़ वेरी क्रूशियल एंड इम्पॉर्टेंट एलिमेंट इन आवर डे टू डे लाइफ और डे टू डे एक्टिविटीज़ ऑफ एन इंस्टीट्यूशन. But there is slightly difference between private budget and public budget. What is the difference? देखिए, प्राइवेट बजट या निजी बजट जिसको हम कहते हैं, उसमें हम पहले आय को देखते हैं, देन ओनली वी डिसाइड टुवर्ड्स एक्सपेंडिचर. पहले हम आय देखते हैं, फिर खर्च के बारे में सोचते हैं और खर्च को व्यवस्थित करते हैं अकॉर्डिंग टू आवर इनकम. वी इन प्राइवेट बजट we decide our expenditure on the basis of our income. It means that in private budget we first estimate our income, first see our income, and then only decide or make decision towards expenditure. लेकिन पब्लिक बजट जो सरकार का बजट होता है, पब्लिक बजट होता है, उसमें पहले सरकार खर्च निर्धारित कर देती है फॉर कमिंग फाइनेंशियल ईयर के लिए कितना खर्च करना है, एंड देन ओनली गवर्नमेंट एस्टिमेट इट्स इनकम, और तब जाकर अपने आय को देखती है. एंड इफ देयर इज अ गैप बिटवीन इनकम एंड एक्सपेंडिचर ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट, अगर एक्सपेंडिचर 5,000 करोड़ का डिसाइड हो गया और इनकम 2,000 करोड़ रुपया हुआ, तो 3,000 करोड़ रुपया, वो जितना एक्सपेंडिचर डिसाइड होगा वो होगा ही, वो रुकेगा नहीं, उसमें कमी नहीं होगी. हाँ, अब जहाँ तक बात इनकम की कमी की बात है, तो वो इनकम जो रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया है वो डेफिसिट फाइनेंसिंग के रूप में, घाटे की वित्त व्यवस्था के रूप में सरकार को अतिरिक्त मुद्रा छापकर वो बजट के घाटे को पूरा करती है. बजट, इसीलिए उसको घाटे की वित्त व्यवस्था डेफिसिट फाइनेंसिंग कहते हैं. तो ये बड़ा एक डिफरेंस है पब्लिक बजट और प्राइवेट बजट में, कि प्राइवेट बजट में जो है कि हम पहले आय को देखते हैं और आय के अनुसार खर्चों को तय करते हैं और वो निश्चित करते हैं. लेकिन पब्लिक बजट या यूनियन बजट में पहले खर्चों को डिसाइड कर लिया जाता है. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल एस्टिमेट एक्सपेंडिचर, देन ओनली see the income, and if there is a gap, that gap was bridged up by Reserve Bank of India through issue of new currency and given to central government to bridge up the gap between public expenditure and public revenue, income. तो ये बजट है. In simple word, budget can be defined as a systematic financial statement regarding government income and expenditure. Now the second topic is objective of government budget. देखिए, budget can be defined as a big tool for the government to make overall equilibrium, make overall development, accelerate developmental process, initiate development process. It is a big tool to make a equalization, regional equality, GDP growth. यानी budget can be defined as a regulator, monetary regulator, financial regulator, economic regulator, developmental regulator, everything. budget एक बहुत बड़ा tool है सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के लिए, जिसके द्वारा वो बहुत सारे अपने उद्देश्यों की पूर्ति कर सकता है. तो बजट हर एक साल प्रस्तुत किए जाते हैं केंद्र सरकार के द्वारा, और ये सरकार के लिए देश को किस दशा और दिशा में ले जाना है उसको निश्चित करने के लिए, उसको रेगुलेट करने के लिए एक बहुत बड़ा टूल के रूप, इकोनॉमिक टूल के रूप में कार्य करता है. तो व्हाट इज द ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ गवर्नमेंट बजट? फर्स्ट, जीडीपी ग्रोथ. जीडीपी ग्रोथ कैसे होगा, यानी how production was going to be increased in all the three sectors of the economy, as well as primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector. What provisions made for these sectors, which type of investment needed in this sector, how much investment is needed in primary sector, secondary sector, small scale industries and other activities. These all things were decided in budget. So budget is defined as a best tool to initiate, accelerate and motivate the GDP growth, and through budgetary policy government can accelerate GDP growth, can accelerate developmental process of the economy, because overall investment expenditure in all over sectors and production activities and initiated through budgetary policy. So budgetary policy is the basis for GDP growth, and in budget it is decided that what amount of investment need to be made for primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector, and the developmental process of that particular sector what depends upon that expenditure amount, that investment amount, and that is decided by government budget. So the first objective of government budget is to accelerate GDP growth in various sectors through made a proper investment in those sectors. दूसरा है balanced regional growth. As we know that after the concept of welfare government, it has become necessary that there should be a regional balanced growth in all over the economy for a better a smooth functioning of economy, for better coordination between various sectors of the economy, for a better supply channel, for a better developmental process. There should be regional equality, and for this, government use various steps within budget to make achieve a regional balanced growth in all over the economy. For this, they motivate the investment in those regions which are regionally backward and economically backward regions. They can give some subsidies and rebate and relaxation on loans and borrowings to establish new industries in regionally economically backward regions. They can give some lift in electricity bills, taxation, and other things to accelerate the development of economically backward regions. So there are a lot of provisions made by the government for those regions which are economically backward, and through budget, government try to balance the growth and accelerate the growth of that region which are economically backward, and also impose more taxation, more types of taxes on that region to on establishing new industry in that region which are already developed. So factories, companies, and investment units were tried to make an investment in a regionally backward region to achieve or gain more profits and more luxury benefits programs of government. And it is a better way to make a regional balanced growth all over the economy, and budget is the one of the most important tool which can do it, and government also use it to make a regional balanced growth. Third is allocation of resources. Through budget, government decide the allocation of resources in different sectors of the economy for the different production activities and for the different groups of peoples of the society. Thus, allocation of resources is the most important. Allocation of resources work as indeed, in fact, the allocation of resources work as a catalyst in the way of development of resources and utilization of resources and overall sectoral development of the economy, and in that way, and the social equilibrium. So in that way, allocation of resources, through allocation of resources, government predetermined that which segment of the society, which sector of the society were going to be financial assist for a better development and better economic growth. So allocation of resources is the most important function in budget, and the objective of government budget is allocate resources in that way that the maximum utilization of resources can be possible and the maximum result, maximum production can be possible in all over the sector, in the every segment of the every segment of the society. Next, the redistribution of income and wealth. Income and wealth is redistributed only through budgetary policy, because to make a economic equalization, government most time government impose higher taxation on higher income peoples and give subsidies. On the other hand, the government also provides subsidies and lot of social welfare activities to the lower and poor sections of the society to make economic equalization in the society. And through the budgetary policies, taxation policy, subsidies policy, government used to make a equalization of income and wealth in an economy and within the various segment of the society. The redistribution of income and wealth can be only possible through budgetary policy. Next is employment opportunity. Employment is a big question, always a big question in unemployment. Unemployment is always a big question in front of economy, and how employment opportunity can be generated more and more in all other sectors. In all other sectors, it is only possible through budgetary policy, because through budgetary policy, the investment criteria, the investment area and the setup of a small and cottage industries were decided create the employment opportunity in all over the economy. So through budgetary policy, government can accelerate the employment rate, employment opportunity for its peoples in all over the sectors of the economy. At last, economic stability. Through budget, government also tried to a stable economy and prevent economy from all types of fluctuation like inflationary situation or deflationary situation, because both situation not assumed as good for economic development. In that situation, government take a policy of economic stability under budget, and for this, whenever economy suffer from inflation, government used to cut down the government expenditure in all over sectors, and whenever economy suffer from deflation, government used to increase the government expenditure on various projects and in various sectors as the way of investment. So these most important objectives of the government can be achieved only through government budgetary policy. So government budget is the most important tool of government regarding economic stability, economic development, growth process, and allocation of resources. Now the next point is a structure or components of budget. Students, budget has two segments. One is budget receipt and another is budget expenditure. Again, budget receipts has two types: revenue receipt and capital receipt. राजस्व प्राप्ति और पूंजीगत प्राप्तियां. बजट के दो भाग होते हैं, बजट की प्राप्तियां और बजट के एक्सपेंडिचर, यानी बजटीय खर्च और बजटीय प्राप्तियां फिर दो प्रकार की होती हैं. बजट रिसिप्ट कैन बी फर्दर डिस्टिंग्विश इन two parts: revenue receipts and capital receipts, and budgetary expenditure further also differentiated into two parts: revenue expenditure and capital expenditure. Now in next video we are going to be study in detail that what is budgetary receipt and what is revenue receipt and capital receipts, and what is the difference between these two receipts, and also what is the difference in revenue expenditure and capital expenditure, and where it may be done by the government. Thus, we hope that you understand this first initial segment of this chapter, government budget and the economy. You must have to prepare your notes in homework notebook, and also remember, because objective of budget, what do you mean by budget, the components of budget, these is short questions which came in board examination, and there's a very easy questions, so you must have to remember these all questions and also prepare notes in your homework or notebook. Till then, bye, take care, stay home, safe home.